Dawn, I know it's only been one day, but what do you think how are Sarah and Elena looking at filling in the gaps left by Elle and Elisa?
They look good. I think Elena, she's a year older, and once you hit that junior year, things seem to be a lot easier for you. They're familiar to you, and I just think she's jumping out of the gym. She's running the floor consistently. We're trying a little bit to play a little faster than we've played in the past, just to see if we can, you know, allow our conditioning to pay off, and to see if we can just not be so on train tracks, and let our players play a little bit and not bog them down with you know a thick playbook.
Is that a little easier to work on right now, considering Tiffany mentioned right in the clear, kind of let the other players find their own games?
I mean, it is. It is. I think we're seeing where people can elevate their games to make an impact for us, and I think a lot of them think that because Tiff is out, that there are so many shots out there for them to take, and I guess they haven't really, they don't understand the value in passing the ball. With all the weapons that we have on our team, that's going to look different. That person's going to look different, when they're able to find. And I think Shea Colley's been that person that has done some things that we haven't seen from our guards in quite some time. Just her ability to pass it into the post and make our post players' lives a little bit easier.
When do you team embrace the mission? Just like last year, you guys declared the goal was to win that national championship. How do they embrace that mission going into this year after coming so close a year ago?
Well, this team has probably embraced it, too much, in that they might be a little bit complacent. They probably forget about what it took to get to that point. So we almost have to break them down and build them back up, to let them know that last year, we worked for that. It wasn't something that came easy. We got lucky, in postseason play, because those games could have gone either way in Greensboro. So, I want them confident, but I also want them respecting the journey, because it's a long journey, and it's a journey in which, if they're disciplined enough, we can get back and maybe, take a step further and getting to the national championship game and winning the national championship. So we're going to, that is our goal. That's our ultimate goal. But this team is a little bit younger, a little less experienced in some ways, especially the leadership department. And then we got some players who, they're quite talented, but they have to really respect the journey. And they got to do things on and off the court that creates a championship behavior.
That being said, what was the first practice like today?
I thought it was great. I thought we had great energy. I thought that we looked good in some areas in which we didn't. Maybe 2 weeks ago before I left town, and I thought some areas we definitely need to work on. We got to work the kinks out from an offensive standpoint, but we're asking them to do things that we haven't asked them to do in a long time, which is just play basketball. Just do what you do naturally, because I want to see if we can. If we can play at a pace in which it will put our opponents back on their heels a little bit. We got a lot of players to play, so we want to utilize their ability to get up and down the floor.
Speaking of journey, can you just talk about what it's like to be back for you? I know you got back yesterday on your flight. Is it nice to be back in Columbia, obviously?
No, it is. It's I was counting down the days. I was enjoying my experience playing with just coaching the national team, but I was half in and half out, just trying to figure out ways in which we can maximize the talented roster that we have, and also just stay mindful. And that is basketball season, and we're probably a week behind than when we were last year at this time. So I was thinking about how do we make up that week and practice on some things that I think that can help us.
Dawn, when do you anticipate having Tiff back full go at practice?
Full go? I would say, no more than 2 weeks. So we'll have her for the start of the season. She's getting just acclimated. She's sprinting this week. I'm quite sure she's been in here shooting a lot. But Tiff knows what we're doing now. She'll be able to easily acclimate to what we're doing. So it's a good thing. Her body needs to rest. Some of the young players need to make an impact now, because when Tiff gets back, probably half of the things that they're working on now they won't be able to display.
How about Jatari White? I mean, still got that stress fracture.
Yeah. So she's day to day. We're just waiting for the doctors to give her the okay to get out there with us. It's going to be up to Dr. Guy and his staff to give us the go, but we're not going to put her in harm's way.
Is that the same thing that lingered kind of last year and kind of short-circuited the season?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
When you speak of playing fast, what does that mean to you?
That means to not have our point guards just dribble the ball up and call a play. We want them passing the ball up, moving, and playing off each other, cutting harder, playing harder, moving faster. At some point, if it's not working out in our favor, we'll slow it back down and just be selective in it. But for right now, we got 100 plays that we can put in, and we're going to be good at half-court stuff. We just want to maximize the opportunities that we can play fast and play in transition.
Dawn, you mentioned the journey of getting to the Final Four last year, especially for you as a coach at Temple here. It took you a while to get there. Just how much do you reflect on that and what it took to get here?
It's over with now. I enjoyed it while we were experiencing it. But just trying to get back there. The hard work that it took to get there. It's going to be that much harder because we were talking about it last year. We did it, so people have high expectations. Our opponents are going to be coming after us even harder. So, I think that's the part that our players really don't understand. And as coaches, the onus is on us to get them ready and not look past any step, because it took it took us gelling together. It took the chemistry's there, but the chemistry's not there yet on the floor.
Coach Asia talked about becoming more of a vocal leader this year. When you lose a player like Alicia Welch, how nice is it to see players that are only sophomores talking about filling that void?
Well, I think Asia is a leader. I've seen her do it on our USA teams. I think sometimes she is, last year she just, wanted to take everything in. But now she's been around us. She knows what looks right, what sounds right, what feels right. And when that's not in place, she's going to speak on it now. So it's always a great thing when younger players are able to step up and fill a big void left by someone like Lisa Welch and Elam Ibia.